Fascinating. Honestly, watching. In fact, I've got another version here of this thing. I've never seen a politician more happy than Judith Collins playing with a helicopter.
I'm holding a.
I mean, look at the smile.
How does it work? What is this dangly bit?
That dangly bit is actually a sonar buoy that goes down into the ocean and detects things.
Like what?
Yeah.
Things.
What are we detecting?
Submarines.
And what does it do?
Anything that might be underwater that's
Submarines
not
from
helpful.
what countries?
Could be all sorts of things.
I've got to say as well.
Good
media's
questions.
Media's being absolute shitheads here. Well, who would send a submarine? Well, that's what it does. Things under the water. Like what? Submarines. What country submarines? It's like, oh, come on, guys. There's not always a smoking gun. That's what the thing does.
Possibly even drug shipments that multinational crime is.
I'm just waiting because she faces camera again and the smile is ear to ear with her toy helicopter.
It tells people, and they might just do something with it. Who knows? Who knows?
Do you have any more of these models?
No, it's my only model. I'm not allowed to break it. It's a bit like our helicopters. You have to be careful of them.
Where'd the model come from?
From obviously, it's probably
gift from
there from
Magenta.
It's not a gift, dear. It's not a gift, Mark. This is a loan.
I mean, happiest Judith Collins has ever been in her whole entire life. The happiest. Right. Let's go into the one news story now for the whole thing. For the whole kit and caboodle.
New Seahawk helicopters and 2 Airbus planes. That's what an almost $3 billion spend has got us. The equipment's needed to upgrade our ageing choppers and Boeing 757s that are prone to breaking down on official visits. Political editor Mikey Sherman has more details and reaction.
Like a child with a new...
That's a bit of shade, eh? That are prone to breaking down versus which are getting older and have broken down. Like it's like every time they go, they're gonna break down.
Toy Judith Collins was proud as punch.
Isn't it wonderful?
Showing off the MH-60R
So weird.
Seahawk helicopter.
It is weird.
This is very nice. Just behave.
And also, just remember, hang on, not allowed a scarf in the house, but what, you can bring out toys? And like, I'm being serious. Like, if this was the opposition with the government going, hey, rule 17.8 Mark 7, you don't have props in the house, you know?
Simeon Brown, put your Hot Wheels away. It's work time.
The minister's colleagues lining up to take it for a little spin.
I'll just send it my way, please.
Oh, thank you very much. This is a helicopter used by Australia, the
No, it's a model. Oh, she's meaning the real ones because it's different. It's a model.
US, and 7 other countries.
And soon New Zealand will be the proud owners of 5 Seahawk choppers.
A helicopter that would come equipped with essential weapon systems, Mark 54 torpedoes and Hellfire missiles.
We face the most challenging strategic circumstances in New Zealand's modern history, and certainly the worst that anyone today working in politics or foreign affairs can remember.
The 5 new helicopters
Hang on, he was at the Boer War, wasn't he? Surely he remembers World War II, wasn't he?
He remembers the Red Scare of the 1880s.
I think so.
will be purchased from the US and replace the current 7 Sea Sprites that New Zealand originally bought second-hand from Australia.
This is a defence force. It's not a gendarmerie. It needs to be equipped to be a defence force. And after many years of neglect by a variety of governments over decades, it's time to build back.
Can I say the joking answer? The joking answer is it's her secretary. No, it's the defence secretary, but that's who.
I've never seen him before. Okay.
No.
Gendarmerie.
She keeps them in a closet.
Time to build back.
I feel this is the government being intentional. It's no longer words. It's no longer on paper.
Also on the way, 2 new Airbus A321 XLR aircrafts. With extra long range, it'll mean greater ability to land in Antarctica.
When our people go to Antarctic to collect somebody or drop people off, we don't have to worry that they're going past that point of no return, which we have at the moment.
So that's pretty scary, eh? So that means obviously the flight's going and you get to a point where it's too far to come back and they have to go all the way or there. Yeah, that's a pretty scary idea.
She makes that sound scary. That's literally how it's always been.
Yeah, but
so I mean, there's a different way to say that. Is like we don't have to worry about this anymore for the first time in all of our years of being in Antarctica. It's just a strange way of putting it.
Just thinking about it logically, doesn't every flight have a point of no return? Like if you flew from Auckland to Sydney, you'd get like 70% of the way there, and then you might not have enough to get back, so you have to keep going. Isn't that every flight? Auckland to Los Angeles. Wouldn't there be a point of no return? You'd have to keep going no matter what. There wouldn't be enough fuel to go 2/3 of the way and then come back.
For a commercial flight, yeah. With what she's talking about with Antarctica, she is saying that it could literally turn back at the point of landing if it had to, if it was fully loaded with fuel, which, yeah. That's probably the only use case for what she's describing there. Meaning
it gets in Antarctica and it starts to land, and then emergency, it needs to be able to turn around and come all the way back.
And come back, which up until now, we have not been able to do.
And I also think the example that I've just used probably doesn't work, because if you were going Auckland, Los Angeles, and you're 2/3 of the way across and you got in trouble, you'd go to Hawaii. Whereas if you're going to Antarctica, there's kind of nowhere else to shoot off to the side to or something, is there? All right, keep going.
The bill breaks down to $2 billion for the 5 Seahawks and $700 million for the 2 new jets. They replace the Boeing 757s, known for breaking down, including Townsville in 2016 with John Key, Melbourne in 2019 with Jacinda Ardern, and last year a trip to Japan was delayed in Papua New Guinea.
Opting for the Airbus and purchasing that going forward, how much of that is a vote of no confidence in the Boeing 757?
We have to be realistic about it. They've been giving incredible service.
Well, did she just ask how much is that as a vote of no confidence in the 30-year-old planes? Is that what she just asked?
I
mean...
Yeah, it's super weird. That's a bad question.
A bad question, Mikey.
This. Backed up by incredible maintenance. But there comes a time when even the most amazing classic aircraft needs to be allowed to go to aircraft heaven.
The first of the new kit will be in operation from early 2028. Mikey Sherman, One News.
All right, Chewie, I do have some questions to throw at you around this, but you seem pretty head up at the start of the night to go it. So you go first, because we've said things about this already which aren't necessarily anti the idea, but I'll just not say anything and give you a chance to go for it.
First of all, the negatives that everybody is here for. I hate everything that makes Judith Collins happy. She's a weird person to talk about this sort of stuff, to see her reading off a press release, and I find the highlighting of the more lethal aspects of this helicopter that was highlighted, I find that to be very strange.
Like was it Hellcat missiles, that kind of stuff, whatever they were.
Yeah, Hellfire missiles and Mark 54 torpedoes and all of this sort of stuff. If we ever get around to using that sort of stuff, things have gone very, very wrong.
Yeah, I mean, if we get around to this is one of my questions. If we got around to using that stuff, we're probably facing fighter jets. I mean, the Defence Secretary said we need to build a defence force. My question is, does like 5 helicopters build a defence force? Like if we were being attacked, I would think that they're not attacking us with like-minded helicopters. They're probably using some big kick-ass jets that are just going to be like, no problem. You know, that seems a bit. They don't need to make excuses. Like I think most people would go, if the fleet of whatevers are out of date, they're expired, they're old, they're it could be time to update. Why are you making these excuses? We need a proper defence force. What, 5 helicopters? It's not. Don't mean to scare you, Mr. Secretary. That's not a proper defence force.
The argument is it stands on its own. Like we have old equipment. It is at the end of its useful life. We have 5 Sea Sprite helicopters. They're cannibalizing 2 of them to keep the other 3 going. They're at end of life. But when you look at those Sea Sprite helicopters, they have never fired a shot in anger ever in their entire lifespan.
Do you mean any of them at any country?
Well, New Zealand ones I'll speak of, but you know, American ones probably have. But yeah, it's more likely that they're going to be used for search and rescue, for fisheries protection, all of this sort of stuff. Yeah. So to see the highlight of, they'll have Hellfire missiles and they'll have fucking machine guns going pew pew everywhere. The way she speaks about them is very fucking weird. Okay, so if you look at the last time we spoke about this, I said that the New Zealand Defence Force will be tossing up between two different helicopters, one of them being the Seahawk helicopter. And the fact that Australia uses them makes them a really clear cut, this is the one to go for.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we've got the same equipment as Australia, there's interoperability and shared knowledge and all of that sort of stuff. It is a good decision that they went with those. It is also, I think, a good decision to buy two new cargo aircraft, basically, people movers, and not buy them from Boeing. That is also a good decision. So where it goes a little bit squirrely here is what we've always been talking about is that they are at a position of going, look at us, we're looking after the Defence Force, we're keeping New Zealand strong, and we're spending a lot of money, which we found at a fucking drop of a hat.
Yep, we did.
So
And
it's,
then-
it's a lot of money, but it's needed.
And then they are doing that at the same time. We don't have money for hospitals. We don't have money for ferries. We don't have money for teachers. We don't have money for nurses. We don't have money for police. We don't have money for firefighters. It doesn't jive. This is, I would put this Defence Force stuff, and this is where I think people will turn on me. I put this Defence Force spend in the same category as all of those other things. I think that this is all critical stuff. But it doesn't feel like any of this is a considered, sensible financial decision because they have given away money. They have borrowed to give away money. They have cut taxes. Like, if you can sit there and go, well, we need to spend some money on the Defence Forces. We need to spend money on the hospitals and all of the other things that I listed. Now is not a good time for tax cuts. We've got really good debt loading at the moment. So why don't we just be honest and say, look, I'll even put on my blue hat here. You could even turn around and go, look, Labour ignored this stuff for way too long, and once again, we're the ones that have to make the decision, and we've made the decision. There's no tax cuts. We're borrowing because we need it, and this stuff is going to last for 50 years. You know, New Zealand's always been good at buying equipment and making it last and squeezing every cent out of it. So if we buy something, we're going to make sure it goes the distance, and we've made the right decision. But they haven't done that. They've just been gleeful about what feels like a snap decision that involves a lot of money. They're highlighting the wrong things for how we will use it. I mean, as someone that's keen on military stuff and that, I found it crass, the way that they were talking about it. It's just strange. We are not going to go toe-to-toe with China. We're just not. Like, the most action that these Seahawk helicopters are going to have is if we're on patrol in the Red Sea or something like that, or we're working in tandem with our other allies. This helicopter is not going to sink a Chinese aircraft carrier, no matter how much Judith Collins wants it. You know, it's a useful piece of equipment. I think it's the right choice of equipment for the New Zealand Defence Forces. I think it's a good decision. They've chosen the right type. They've chosen the right aircraft for the right reasons. The reason that the Boeing kept on breaking down is because it was second hand in 1990 when we bought it from a Dutch airline. We tried to make it do way more than it was ever designed for, and we tried to make it last much longer than it was ever designed for.
I just had this interesting thought. No New Zealand military helicopter has ever fired a missile. So that's a photo that's come with the One News story. That means there is no... what about, you think they would have done it in like war games though? You mean in actual action? Because I'm thinking that means there's no helicopter pilot in New Zealand who's ever fired a missile. And now they've got these things that have got the Hellcats and the nuclear head, whatever.
We have had another missile. The Sea Sprites can fire missiles and torpedoes as well. We've been using a missile called the Penguin, which is a terrible name for a weapon of war.
That's too cute. That's too cute. What does it do? It goes in, it goes.
Yeah. Look, if you want me to put my military nerd hat on, this is the thing that makes me laugh. Your Hellfire missile has a range of 7 to 11 kilometers. The defensive suite on a Chinese frigate is somewhere closer to 25 to 30 kilometers. Like, it's just a weird thing to emphasize.
Chewie, I don't know why you would think that the chat would turn on. The chat would turn? The chat would
because
turn, right, turn
because
on.
we're a bunch of happy greenies. And
because what
don't
you're
wanna
saying,
see it.
what you're saying is basically what we said last time. Don't have any problems with the concept of New Zealand armed services or whatever. If something needs to be replaced, be replaced. One of the interesting tweets that came through, the chats was, but hang on, aren't our hospitals at our end of life as well? Why can't we find the money for that? You know, because...
Look, the money will be found because it has to be found.
Because it's at the hospital's at the end of its life as well. But the thing that's stuck in my craw, and I think this is what you're saying, is that they're spending let's say $3 billion all up on this, yeah, at a time that they can't find any money for anything else. Now, if that $20 billion that we can just identify without even looking at our notes wasn't being given away in tax cuts, big tobacco, oil and gas, landlords, and they took $3 billion of that and did this, so there would be still some complaints, but certainly most people would well, you know, Army's got to have the equipment and they've budgeted for it. It's the fact that they have no money for anything that most of New Zealand deem not even important, but necessity, that necessitates life, quite literally in some sense. They don't have the money for that, but Judith Collins, and God help me, you can tell by that smile, has had her pet project funded by the money down the back of the couch. You will never convince me, looking at that smile, that this is not her pet project and she is just not the cat that thinks she's got the cream, because she is the happiest thing that there has ever been to get helicopters purchased. Her name will be attached to them for the next 60 years.
Do you know who I miss when I think about Parliament and military matters? And
I do. He was the 2 and 2 IC for NZ First, wasn't he? What was his name?
Yeah, Ron Mark.
Ron Mark. Yeah.
Now, I guess that's kind of what I expect, or what I would hope for someone that making these decisions, someone that had been in the Defence Forces, who like this. This is why I find it so weird to have Judith Collins describing this helicopter. It feels like someone's just reading from the press release and not really understanding it, or regurgitating something that somebody else who does understand the stuff has told her about it. It's like a bullet point type thing. It's not an understanding of where it fits in an organization. It doesn't understand the actual true role that this thing would have. Whereas someone like Ron Mark, he had that experience and understanding, and I don't know if we've had anyone in the defence portfolio since that's had that. But yeah, look, I saw a comment going through that. Look, we can't afford this stuff. This is part of the conversation that I think needs to happen. Is we can afford this stuff and all of the other stuff that we've mentioned, if people were just fucking honest about when things needed to be replaced, how long it takes us to save for them, or what is the reason for borrowing, and are we borrowing for the right things? It needs to have a lifespan to justify the spend.
I wonder about Ron Mark, how he would function in this current New Zealand First. Because be careful, Chewie. You say something nice about a politician who's not on the left, the chat will go for you. They'll go for your throat. But he does seem to be perhaps a politician who wouldn't also fit within this current system. I don't know. Maybe every politician just slides into the system they're a part of, but he is, as they say, this is not your mum and dad's New Zealand First party. I wonder how he'd go in it.
Yeah, look, I certainly didn't agree with everything that he said or did, but I had respect for where he'd come from and the decisions that he made in terms of the defence portfolio, and I just don't think there has been someone that brought that knowledge to the table since.